One Piece live action show just came out last week. I have a lot of thoughts about it. There's some things that they could have fixed, and I'm gonna talk about how you should perceive this One Piece show, or how I think you should perceive the One Piece show. But before I get to doing that, cue the intro.
I'm laughing, but it's a laugh of impatience. Show the movie.
So before I start with that, my last video was about how Freeman and One Piece are similar. I got a lot of hate for that, and rightfully so. One Piece fans probably wouldn't like Freeman. Freeman fans probably wouldn't like One Piece. It's fine. If you can't see the similarities between Freeman and One Piece based off what I showed y'all and what I told y'all, it's okay. You don't have to see it. Moving on to the One Piece live action show. All right. My first thing is I did like it better than the first season. I did. The first season, it was different because it was kind of like a pilot, obviously. They were testing out what they can do, what they can't do, how the effects look. Obviously, you're seeing how everybody comes together, and everybody, the whole world is seeing how they're going to navigate it. So off rip, it was a little weird. I'm like, dude, okay, we're going through this, and this really, really fast. It ended with Arlong. That was a great place to end it at. And I felt like, it was okay. The second season, now that I understood what the show was trying to do, I loved it way more. The first thing I'm gonna say as far as the gripes is everyone should expect, if you're a One Piece fan or not, whether you like the One Piece live action or not, you should expect to have a lot of people say the exact opposite of what you're thinking. So if you love the One Piece live action show, you should expect to have a lot of people say that they hated it and they didn't like it, it was ugly, it was cringe, yada, yada, yada. If you thought it was ugly and cringe and all that stuff, you should expect to see a lot of people who kind of looked over some of that stuff and saw the beauty in it. I feel like, I'm gonna say real One Piece fan, but I feel like most people can watch that show and still see the beauty of it and still acknowledge, like me, that, okay, this looks a little weird, how y'all gonna do this, like how y'all, that's how I was thinking about it. This season told me, for without a doubt, One Piece should not be a live action show. And I say that because all of the things that makes One Piece seem great, and it's weird, but it's not weird in a weird way. I know that's odd to say that, but it's weird because it's unique. It's not weird because it's disgusting in the anime. But when you bring that to live action, it looks off. The case in point, there's a few things. As far as the CGI and all that, Chopper, I can tell they spent all the money on Chopper when he was in his brain point form. When he got to his heavy point, it looked a little different. I think they used a practical suit for that, if I'm not mistaken. Wapol, in the anime, he doesn't look that odd compared to everything else. But live action, seeing a dude transform his bottom of his mouth to a hippo looks creepy. Mr. 3 was always freaky. But when you translate that freakiness to live action, it does come off a little weird, all right? We gotta be honest and say that. Now, that's not to say that it doesn't have good qualities, right? But because it does. It shares the same things and the same tropes as the first season or as the anime and manga. It's about friendship, it's about journey, it's about fighting for what's right. It has all those same tropes, which is why I love it. You gotta acknowledge that this show was gonna get hate anyway, because One Piece is already, without the One Piece live action, it's already one of the most hated anime shows, mainly because most of us say that One Piece is the greatest anime of all time. And then for people who hate it, the rebuttal is always, oh, well, it's too long. Oh, well, the pacing. Oh, the character designs in the early seasons were terrible. It's hated already. So when you put that to live action, this is what you can expect to get and expect to hear from other people. Let's talk about one of the other main gripes that people have been having with the live action is the race swap. All right, now I'm gonna say this. Brook is black, all right? Brook has, when I started watching One Piece when I was like 8 or 9 years old. There was no point in my mind where I said, this is a white dude, right? Brook even has the stereotypical, if you know anything about how black people were presented in media back in the day, Brook even has the stereotypical dark lip outline and his epithet is Soul King. Brook has always been black. So I was kind of shocked to see a lot of people say, why is Brook black? Why is Brook black? I'm like, dude, Brook has always been black. Now, Vivi, I can understand, but at the same time, I can't understand. And I made a whole video about Vivi when they said it'll be the girl from Bridgerton. People, there's different sides to the Vivi outrage. There's white people saying, yo, why did y'all make her Indian? Or why did y'all make her fair skin, dark skin, whatever? There's Egyptian people saying, Why is she Indian? Then there's people like me saying it's acting. Doesn't matter what the race of the actual, which I've said this before, it doesn't matter what the race of the actual character is, long as she's fair-skinned. Now, even if you look at the manga and the anime, her dad is Cobra, who in the anime is presented as fair-skinned. Vivi in the anime is bone pale, which is again why y'all can't tell me Brook is not black. Brook don't even, if you look at how Oda writes his white people, his white characters, they don't even look, they don't have any of the same features at all. So it's a little weird for Vivi to be pale and then Cobra be tan. So it made sense for Oda to say, okay, she's good, we're gonna use her. And the Egyptian thing, the Egyptians saying she shouldn't be this and that. Okay, fine. I'm not gonna have that discussion because I've already told y'all, it's acting, bruh. It's acting. As long as you look like you the part, that's fine with me. But that's me personally. People are also saying that the characters are just not the same, right? One of the most characters that I've seen people have issues with is Sanji. Now that makes sense, and even me, I'm like, okay, so this Sanji feels way different than the Sanji we have in the anime and in the manga. If you look at it, there's no way they could have properly portrayed that without making Sanji be a creep. Now he is a creep, but again, when you have different things in different mediums, it doesn't seem as weird. Sanji being a creep in the anime and manga, to me, doesn't seem as weird. But when you have him doing that same stuff and it's real humans, it's gonna be distasteful. One of the things I did see people, rightfully so, Sanji for whatever reason doesn't smoke as much as he does in anime and manga. Okay, that's fine. But other than that, I mean, it's nitpicky stuff. I feel like, for me, some of my criticisms, the Sanji thing, I understand, but Sanji, for the most part, feels similar. Zoro is a person where I'm like, it does feel a little forced. Because if you actually watched, most of the people who are watching this stuff, I don't even believe y'all have even watched or read the anime, the earlier episodes. Zoro, he's serious, but he's not serious all the time. This Zoro is serious all the time. So what makes it cool in the anime and the manga is Zoro's serious. He takes things serious, but he can laugh and take a breather. But so when he gets real serious and he's finna fight, you know, okay, he ain't playing. This Zoro, he's always serious. So it's gonna be weird when we see him in a fight. And we did see some fight scenes, which was really cool. It was him versus the 100 soldiers. That was really cool. But I do feel like they're playing it up a little too strong. Inaki, the Luffy actor, I did not like him in the first season. And I kind of still don't like him in the second season. But again, Luffy is someone who is hard to bring to life. But we have to look at it as like, it's a different thing. We should not compare this to the manga. We should not compare this to the anime because it's a different thing. It's like 3 different universes. The manga universe, you got the anime universe, and you got the live action universe. Even the anime doesn't do some things that the manga does. So it's like, some things are just going to be different. And we just have to, I didn't mean to shake y'all. We just have to accept that. But yeah, I feel like where Inaki, he goes wrong is he tries to do the facial movements. He tries to do all the yelling and screaming. It just doesn't translate most of the time to live action. So I feel like he acts better as himself as Luffy than trying to forcibly be Luffy. And I say that because I've seen some of his interviews and things like that. He's just a joyous and carefree person. I think that's cool. Nami is spot on. I think Nami is done perfectly fine. Usopp, I actually like this version of Usopp better than the manga and anime. I remember watching the anime because I watched the anime first before I started reading the manga. And I did not like Usopp, bro. I'm like, bro, Usopp, you are, I know you're supposed to be weak, but dog, you don't have no dog in you at all. No type of fight, no type of bark, no type of bite, anything. This is not as in your face. Usopp, he is scared, but they play it up to be like he's scared because out of everybody on the crew, he's probably the most humanized. So any human would be scared to go into the same situations that Usopp goes into. It's not that he's just a weakling, it's he's just genuinely scared. And he still fights, he still does his thing with the slingshot. He's not afraid to take some hits for the team. I feel like that's better than what we got in the manga and the anime, in my opinion, honestly. Let's go to, I already told y'all about Brook. Brook is perfect in my opinion. Chopper. So the Chopper episodes were the best episodes of the season because that's where we got our emotional impact of the season mainly. Last season it was between Nami and Arlong. This time it's the Chopper emotional impact that we're getting, and it was done great. I think whoever voices Chopper, that voice actor is a little weird to me, because yes, Chopper should have a high voice, but it seems like, to me, it doesn't fit Chopper, in my opinion. I feel like they should have had, it seems like they have like a little girl voicing them, and they should have had like a younger boy. You know, that's my opinion. I don't know who's voicing Chopper, I could be wrong, but that's what it feels like to me. Even when he goes to his heavy point, they keep the same voice, and it's like, it just feels weird. But other than that, even though Chopper isn't a real human, I feel like he had the best acting in the whole dang season. It was great hearing from him, and all his emotional scenes were amazing to me. Got an introduction of Robin, she was cool. I'm interested, bro. Now, my thing is, and I'm gonna end it here, because I basically gave y'all my thoughts, my recaps. My question is, how far do we go? Because the farther One Piece goes on, the weirder it gets. I was telling my girlfriend, like, how would they do Big Mom? How would they do Foxy? How would they do Foxy? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's some, One Piece, it just gets weirder from here. Even Enel is a little weird. And we're going to Arabasta, however you want to say it. We're going there first with Crocodile. He looks amazing, by the way. I think they should probably, I don't know, man. If they want to do all this justice, bro, if they do Marineford, that season would cost a lot of money to do. A lot. And I don't know how much One Piece is drawing in. I mean, it's #1 in the world. I don't know if it's on Stranger Things or anything, where, you know, you put a lot of this money into it. The whole world kind of likes it. But I don't know, man. I think they should probably do, Marineford just seems like it's way too far away. They should probably stop at Enies Lobby. Stop at Enies Lobby. Even Kuma will look weird. Like, Frankie probably gonna look weird, because he's pre-time skip Frankie is, I think post-time skip Frankie too. It's mainly in his boxers. So we'll see, bro. We'll see how they do it. I'm interested. Hopefully we don't have to wait as long to get the 3rd season. I think this season hit home just because we don't have, One Piece is on break right now as far as the anime. The manga is going strong. The manga is going real strong. But yeah, let me know what y'all think about One Piece live action. I loved it. Let me know what y'all think below. If you love the video, like the video. If you don't know the video, like the video. I'm on the road to 600 subscribers. I appreciate you like my content, share my content. Without further ado, I'm out. Peace.
No, I do not panic. So I learned it.